Hello everyone, it's Monday and it's another day on the Man United agenda. Today we welcome Andy Tate back onto the channel and of course the usual men that are part of the furniture, Mr. B and Yabba Forbes, you're all very welcome. But I am going to start with some breaking news because it's hot off the press and we're only 5 minutes behind the paddock in breaking this, so let's get this out there. Manchester United have ended talks over all access area documentary with Amazon. So the 10 million or so deal that they had in place to put forward this documentary has been pulled. Now they're saying it's because Amran was against it, but I'm going to ask you, Andy, is the real reason the fact that the club would have been exposed and the ineptitude of the ownership would have been put out for everyone to see?
To be fair, this is the first I've heard, and I'm quite glad. And it would have made us the laughing stock we already know we are. And there's only little bits you get when it comes out as the truth. When it's Ruben and Ranić, and the absolute incompetence of the last decade, the last 12 years, and Amazon, So you could have a Man City one, you could have a Tottenham one, you could have a Sunderland one, but the Sunderland one wasn't half bad. And you got the Spurs one. So, Spurs are still Spursy to me. And, but yeah, you're going to, nah. To that, I'm glad it's not happening. And if maybe Ruben says, you put this out there, you put cameras in front of me, I'll walk. This, we are not. You want this club to be back on the level. You can't be portraying us as absolute Peter Griffins, absolute incompetence, absolute, just as bad as a government. You know what I mean? We got 11k Starmers up front for United. That's what it is. It's totally incompetence. So you can't write it, and I'm glad it's not happening. So yeah. He doesn't need the stress. He's got enough on his plate. He's trying to implement his football, and this club will basically try. Well, I'm glad they haven't got him over a barrel and trying to shaft him. So it's one less problem. I'm glad of it.
Absolutely, Mr. B. Is Sir Jim Ratcliffe starting to look like Arkwright from Open All Hours?
Oh, he's the original.
I'm a Zen Granville.
That was a good one, Ruffle. That was a good one, Ruffle. Yeah, he's been exposed, or he's getting exposed for the lack of power that he does actually have at the club. I mean, he bought whatever the percentage he bought. All he did was, he's just the face of the flag now. Nobody worries about the Glazers. Everybody blames Ineos and Ratcliffe for anything. So he paid his money to get abuse. He did say in the interview that wasn't expecting it. Well, United have been the same, and we've now stayed the same since you've been here. We're in a mess. I really do think we're in a mess. Open all hours, 24-hour access. I mean, I'm glad. I'm like you, to be fair. Where'd you go?
When I'm working this week, that will tickle me in the middle of the night. That'll keep me going at 3 o'clock in the morning. When I need a giggle and I'm fed up, I'll remember that, working on the night shift. Thank you for that, Rebel.
And you know what? There's going to be a few people in the chat who have no idea what we're talking about. People of a certain age and generation, we get that one. For all you guys who don't, just look up Open All Hours on YouTube, and maybe you will work out what we're talking about. But do you think that I mean, it really was kept secret, the fact that Ornstein's come out, nobody knew what was going on, so they can keep things secret when they have to, things that they know is going to cause uproar. Can you imagine if they'd said that in the beginning? Can you imagine the uproar if now Ornstein was saying, okay, we're now, next season is going to be our all access, all that. There would have been meltdown.
Mr. B, do you remember when they did this with the Super League? They dropped it an Ollie after we played Burnley. Was it just before or just after when lockdown was still on? And the good feel we were still chasing, Champions League, and we were on a good run, and we're like going into the Europa League final. United drops a bombshell, and this was like, I wonder if this was kept from Ruben. Imagine if United had dropped this at the start of the season as an exclusive. Maybe they've done this to test the waters to see how it would feel, and it'll go down like the Titanic.
Yeah. That's not something that well, look, if there is any good news, I suppose that's the best news of the day. The fact that we won't be on 24 hours a day to have people mocking us like we do with
our rivals will be fucking paying through the roof to fucking see us.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, Amazon's subscription will go through the roof, man.
Well, look, it's something that has Ornstein's dropped a Uno bomber, if you could call it that, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah, look, that would have just that would have been
I think that might have been the final nail in the coffin for some fans. It would just walked away and not bothered.
I think you would have replaced AFTV and Chill as the number one show for rival fans.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, I know.
But reality TV is all the rave, isn't it? Ever since Big Brother came out over 25 years ago, a long time ago, it came out that. But it worked for Formula One. Formula One's audience in America has skyrocketed. They've even made a movie about F1 now with Brad Pitt, based on a series like that, an Amazon series where they promoted Formula One, and suddenly all this NASCAR and all this other stuff, motor racing they have in America, is being trumped by F1 based on these series. So the whole purpose of these series is to promote the sport or to promote the club, so you can benefit something from it. But the state that we're in, it's decided it's not a good idea. Because, as you say, we've become a laughing stock.
So you're a guy, United's just been done by Liverpool 5-0 again, or City 5-0, and you're a camera in an interview and you shoved that in Ruben's face. Would you blame Ruben for saying you're going to need a good surgeon to get that removed after I'm done with you? And I'm talking about the camera, not the microphone.
I'd say Ruben would have a very particular set of skills if somebody started shoving a camera in his face.
We're talking taken. Yeah. A certain set of skills, and you will need a surgeon. Yes, I will find you and I will insert you.
Actually, I do have another one, and this is one that's pretty much targeted at Yaba, the Harry Maguire fan. Reports out there that Harry Maguire is the subject of an inquiry by David Moyes and Everton. £15 million. You selling him, Andy?
Quite an interesting concept, huh? To be fair, I think we'll need him for another year. I think we need him because, like you say, there's no love lost between me and Harry Maguire, but I will show the utmost respect to him. Last year, we needed him. And he was good when he played. All right, he had one or two mistakes, but I would keep Harry Maguire for one more year.
Wow, I was going to say £15 million. It's not enough for someone as valuable as Harry Maguire, in my opinion. I know people he gets belters, but we have to be realistic here. He's been the best centre back at the club for the last 10 years, in my opinion. Yeah, you're thinking about it, aren't you? You're thinking to trump me on that one. He's been the best centre back at the club the last 10 years. I had Ryan Giggs come out and say the other day, Bruno Fernandes, give him his glory. The guy's been fantastic signing, best signing since we've had since Fergie left. And it's true. And the truth remains as well. Harry Maguire has just been brilliant. We've needed him. He's taken us, to second place, third place. We've won FA Cups. We've won League Cups as well. We would have won a Europa League against Villarreal, but he was injured, So Harry Maguire has been awesome. No matter what, he's been through ups and downs, but he's got so much character. And I still think, as Andy says right there, Andy goes to games, he sees it firsthand. I still think he's so important for us. even to next season. So
point he can get you a goal in the last few minutes. When you throw Slabhead up front when you need a goal, he'll get you a goal, and he's proved that last season.
Absolutely.
I'm taking the money.
Really?
I'm taking the money.
Really, Mr. B? Jesus.
Yeah,
when you need a winger and he can do Roberto Carlos or a Figo. Oh, God, yeah. Them moments, like, against Atletico.
Everybody has their moments. He had a good leave now on the high, innit? Don't stay next season and go back to the old Harry Maguire,
because we never did anything last season. But yeah,
no, but I'm talking about him personally, him as a player. He's now got the backing of the fans. If he had left 3 years ago, it would have been, nobody would have had a good word to say about him apart from Yaba. So now, he's got the majority of the fan base, if not, 95% maybe, bar me and Matty, who would drop him off as quickly as possible. I would let him go. I would take the 15 million, reinvest it in something else. We've got Delit, we've got Krish, your food's coming. We've got Delit, we've got Euro, who I'm sure can play centre back. Yeah, he doesn't have the aerial ability, and maybe that's something that we would lack from him. But no, I would be taking the money.
Interesting. Now we have come into this as a slightly different intro than we normally do. We do normally do the howdy do's and we go around the how was your day, but I thought I'd introduce a little anarchy, a little chaos, the established order, if you know that film reference, Andy.
You know what? I could see that red glow around you. No wonder they call you Rebel. You know what I mean? Your red background. Little Jedi, little pest there, you know what I mean? Did you work for Dooku or what? Yeah, I could see why.
But I am going to do one bit of housekeeping because Solo will have my dirt if I don't do it. We are on the road to 4K. We are looking to try and get there before the start of the season. And if we do, one of you is going to end up with a Manchester United jersey. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. And you know what? Give a cheeky little like as well, because it all helps the channel and it's all free and we do appreciate it. But I am going to get into the main event now. Andy, last season, probably barring our relegation from Division 1 to Division 2 back in the 70s, was probably the worst season in modern Manchester United history. And while we've been watching Liverpool spend bare cash, Arsenal spend bare cash, Chelsea spend bare cash, City spend bare cash, we're sitting there twiddling our thumbs with one signing, and we've failed to get rid of any of the players that Ruben Amorim has declared he does not want, and has said that they are not welcome to pre-season training. And those named players were not at pre-season training today. Are we starting to see the cracks appear, and that the job of work that Ineos had to do in order to get us back to being a competent football club is just too big for them?
I think they are running it like they'll run it like they run Nice. And Nice has not been a happy hunt. It's not been a nice place for the managers, for the fans last few years. Oh, you get a Europe here and there, and you might get a big manager like Vieira, but then he's gone. And you're in the title race, then you fade off and you finish Europe. You get Europa League, but I think they're twiddling the thumbs now, and it's a Man United. United should look elsewhere, and they still can't get rid of players, and it's still the negativity. I've heard rumours today, what we've been talking about before, but we'll go into it later, about maybe free transfers of certain players. And no, mate. All our rivals are strengthening, and we are weakening. And you can spell it's negativity, Andy. Negative energy, negative. But I only can say what I see. You know what I mean? Some YouTubers try and promote positivity, and I'm all for that. And I know a couple of good lads who do that. Forever United TV and Adam, he does it, and so does the Paddock. But you can't help when your rivals are actually strengthening and getting a grip. And where are we? Where are we going to fight? How are we going to start? You could win your first game, beat Arsenal, but then you could go on an absolute stinker for the next few games, and it's not what you do in one game; it's how you do on 38 games. And if you still can't prepare one game a week, training, matching up your opponent, trying to figure out your strengths and their weaknesses, you're going to struggle. So United need to get some more players in by at least by the time they land in America. Really, it's really disappointing. And I've seen United today trying to put pictures of Diego Leon looking at the history of the club. They're trying to. They know we're angry. They know we're pissed. Personally, I couldn't care less at the moment about the team and the club. I just care about the manager. I'm a fan and I'll back him. And they're trying to promote it. I've seen it. They put that out this morning. Look, they're trying to push positivity out. Look what Diego's trust us. Look what Diego's looking at. He's looking at all our trophies. No, mate, no. It's not about looking at trophies. It's about looking at the squad and assessing and getting more players in. That's what it is. Not about twiddling your thumbs, playing your Game Boy. Is that what you're doing, Jason Wilcox? You're playing your Game Boy. We're that artificially. We're going back to 90s tech. What did he do? Honestly, it's so frustrating. Is Jim pulling the levers? I mean, and Mr. Bedford, was it Bedford's gone, hasn't he? He's gone now. He's gone back to Ineos. So, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to believe. And to be fair, I'll be honest, I'm sick to the back teeth for my club. And I'm sick to the back teeth for certain players, apart from the last season's signings and the youngsters and the new lad. I couldn't really care less about any of them players or any of that team or any of the people upstairs. Because until I see improvement on the pitch, I will not be interested.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, man.
Last season, we were listening to Murta saying that, it was just before last season, that Murta was saying that United could not continue without outside financial help. And they're still talking, 14, 15 months later, about the fiscal inadequacies of the club. But what I want to ask you all now is, the honeymoon period is clearly over. They're here long enough that they should have a grasp of what is going on with the club. At the end of the day now, when do they start being held accountable? When do they have to justify to the fans that the operation that they are trying to portray to get us back into a 2028 Premier League challenge is clearly far behind schedule, and that in reality, they don't know where to start? When do they have to cough up the goods?
Hey, Rebel. You're a great host. I'll give you that, man. You're a great host, but you're also bloody biased as well. I've been reading your comments in the WhatsApp group today, and you've been giving it out, and you enjoy this. You enjoy this right now because you are asking key questions. Now, let me say this. You say I'm Mr. Positive and all that. I'm looking at it and saying, boy, we are struggling, a bit.
Really?
Yes, we are struggling. But here's two things, just to bring a bit of light, through the window. The issue is this for me. It's about, rather than pumping money into transfers, we want these great signings to come in. We're looking at Chelsea, look at all these other clubs making signings. That's what you started the argument on, based on comparing to the other clubs that we are so-called rivals. How about we focus on development and trying to improve as a team, rather than just throwing players in? Let's work with these guys. Let's turn, like MacGyver when he's stuck in a shed or something and looks like nothing there, and suddenly turns it around, twists up some things, get some bits and bobs together and create something amazing to bust them out of trouble. And this is what you need to do with players. We've got players there being shitted on by the fans, saying they're rubbish, they're crap, get them out of the club. What I'd really love to see, what would be like heaven for me, is to see a development where we say we can transform these players into someone better, into a better version of themselves, because it can be done. This is what coaches are paid for. This is what staff are paid for. I want to see development. We haven't seen that for a long time at Man United, where players have come through and developed and got better and better and better. You know, I haven't seen that. So that's what I want to see. And I hope under the new manager and the new system that we have, that we can actually see some development this season and then aim for that goal where we can see slow progression to get to 2028 where we're actually challenging. You said, the question was, Rebel, you said, when will we make them accountable? Well, they've just said, judge us by 2028. So you've got a long way to wait, mate.
Andy, I just want to throw a question at you before I go to the comments. Yabba's clearly been drinking from Solo's Kool-Aid today, because these are the arguments that Solo was directing back at me in the WhatsApp group. These players that have been leaking to the media about managers and their training methods and all that other nonsense that we've been dealing with for the last 3 years. Is what Yabba's saying correct? Can a manager turn them into serviceable footballers for our club?
Well, every player has their own agenda and has their own self-esteem and self-entitlement. I must preserve me, not the team, not the manager, not the club, not the fans. I must preserve myself by any means necessary. I will preserve myself and my career, and I will do what I have to do to make sure I play football and not be shat on. How many times have we been down this road? How many times have the players asked for forgiveness, asked to be forgiven? I'm sick of hearing it, mate. I'm really sick of hearing it. All the Reds will back this manager now all the way. But the team, the structure, the players, the signings that are coming in, they all will be judged. Yabba can spout positivity, and everyone's entitled to be doing it. I want to be positive, but I don't see anything at the moment. A couple of signings won't go amiss. Man United being cool, that Man United still got the feet up at the pool, and they're still sipping budget Aldi Coke because they can't all inclusive at the bar. All our rivals are in all inclusive, and we're sipping budget fucking Poundland Aldi drinks. So that's what it is. So I'll believe it when I see it, Rebel. I need to see it before I start forgiving and forgetting after what happened last season. Absolutely. Now, the manager, full backing, all his crew, all his coaches, and some of them players, yes, but to the rest of them players, we're past the shed. We're past the watershed. F you. Until I see it, I want to see it. I want to see effort. I want to see a united-fied team that will work for each other and work for the fans and bust a gut and stop spitting your dummy out because you didn't make a final. You didn't make a final. And you release a tweet within 20 minutes of losing a final. I don't want to see it anymore. But I think it'll still happen today. It'll still happen this season. All our rivals, there is a united dressing room. Whatever agendas, they keep it in-house. All our agendas are exposed to everybody, Amazon included, potentially, which we are now been turned away. So we are so exposed, we could... I don't even want to go into it. We are so exposed, anybody could take a shot at us.
Absolutely. In the words of Ronan Keating, sorry is all that you can say. Like, we were Sorry FC a couple of years ago, and looks like it's coming back, but I do need to go to the comments. We are on the road to 4K subscribers. If you get us there before the start of the season, shameless plug, we are giving you a jersey. And if you'd be so kind to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and we will let you know how that jersey can be won should we get there before the first ball is kicked off in Manchester United's new season. But the comments, let's go. Ed Mayhem, I would not say Harry. We have not enough replacements, and he stepped up when everyone was down on him. Titanium saying, haha, yabba. Lynx is the whole point of the windows to perform major surgery on the team. Hang on. Is he Raf Raniak, lads?
Yeah.
2 words. Yabba, Raphael Varane. Paldino legend, says Alan Harris. Cancel Mags. Yabba, we're going to melt down. Go on, Stephanie. Bart is a serious fan. No matter what you think of Harry has achieved for United, I think he's a failure as he was bought for a world record fee. That's a fair point. The Mbuemo saga should be treated like a baseball routine. 3 strikes and you're out. We will actually be talking about Mbuemo shortly, so watch this space. They used the 15 million to pay off some more dinner ladies. Oh, Ed, you're cold tonight, buddy. Whoa.
Gonna waste his shirt on, that's why.
Mm-hmm. Here, blur all the way, mate. Blur all the way.
Yeah, Muppet.
I had to do it. I had to. Reinvest 15 million and we'll buy 15 heavens. Yeah, we just robbed Arsenal's Youth Academy. Double A saying, evening all. I am Titanium. Question for Yabba. Mags, is he better than Varane?
Yes.
1 word answer.
Yes.
Okay, you can explain that later on.
No need.
Andrew saying most of this is Ruben's making. If he had any cojones, he would have flown Bruno over to Saudi himself. Oh, big take. We deserve better. Good evening, Mr. B, Yabba, Rebel, Andrew, and the chat legends. 1 out, 1 in. Do we have an out?
Yeah, the freebies. Ericsson, Lindelof.
No, but an
Evans.
actual sale.
Johnny Evans.
No, I don't think so.
Andrew saying we're definitely weaker now than the end of last season. It's not negative energy, Andy, when it's a straight fact about how crap we were, obviously. It's what he's talking about there. Solo is doing his bit to get likes in the chat. Can we get to 30? We'll be talking about somebody probably equally as underwhelming as Callum Winston later on. We deserve better. Maybe Ruben's 63-year-old goalkeeper gets a run. Newcastle have agreed to sign Elanga. Best in class, we were told, says Matty. Who's MacGyver? Says we deserve better. Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Richard Dean Anderton.
People of a certain age will get the MacGyver reference. Us 4 do. The rest don't. Google, YouTube, like open all hours.
And I actually have one more segue later on for us, so watch this space on that as well.
I ain't ready no segue yet, man. I'm telling you.
We ain't even standing still. We're going backwards. At the end of the season, we had Garnacho, Ericsson, Lindelof, Evans all in the squad. Tyrone is saying Ruben Amorim doesn't want to work with players in the squad, and that is a problem. Rashford, Anthony, Garnacho, Hoyland, and many others are not good enough. Vincent Bullock, how you doing? We're nearly at the end, lads. Tyrone Williams, we've gone backwards. Moss is saying, and you all laughed at Arsenal. Trust the process, mate. Well, at the end of the day, though, Arsenal are still trusting the process, and I hope we don't spend as long as he trusting the process, because that would do me bleeding nothing. Tyrone has made the situation worse, but begging Bruno to say no sympathy for Ruben. Barron says back Amrin to your own determinant, and I mean once Sancho's out and then Mbuemo is in, so that is the comments. But that does bring us to what I wanted to speak about in Mbuemo, and then we'll obviously go on to the final action, which is the striking options. But Mbuemo is someone that wants to come to Manchester United. He's been pretty much 100% get me to Old Trafford since it all started. But now, I was wondering what was going on there. We seem to be farting about over maybe $1.5 million, and to the detriment of other deals, Andy. If we cannot get a player that wants to come here across the line, that we're pretty much within an arse's roar of what the other club wants, what chance have we of getting someone that we have to do a bit of convincing on?
I don't know, mate. You'd have to get a really good actor and a really good script and a producer to convince some players to come to Manchester United. To actually convince them, let's say, get a director in, Steven Spielberg, make it believable. You know what I mean? I watched the new Jurassic Park last night and it was absolute crap. So you would need an award-winning script to convince players to come in. I mean, I think at the moment, the targets we want, they want to come to United, like say the Wolves lad wanted to come, the Brentford lad wants to come. So our name is the only credit we've got in the bank. That is it. So if you want to be part of that and help change this club around, that gives you that people look at you in a different light, don't they? So it will make the player better. It will make the players more recognised. Excuse me, eBay's just gone mad. United needs to pull out all the stops to trying to get players in and to convince players, look, you're going to replace Rashford, you're going to replace Garnacho, you're going to replace Anthony or Højlund or X, Y, and Z. You're Sancho's new replacement. So it's about convincing players, but you will get the players who are leaving who may get spoken to by potential targets, and they'll ask, what's it like being at United? So, a lot of convincing, a lot of distrust, dishonesty, a lot of lies, a lot of faking lies. To quote Bill Clinton, I did not. So, you know what I mean? So you're going to have to do a lot of convincing, a lot of denial to get the targets you want.
Absolutely. Now, we have been farting about in that transfer window to go to 6 weeks now. We've been linked with Gyökeres. He's now going to Arsenal. We were linked with Osimhen. It looks like he's gone back to Gala. We've been linked with Ekitike. Likely he's going to end up at Liverpool. But now we got Dell and Rodney Trotter rocking up in their Robin Reliant with Dominic Calvert leading Lewin in tow. Like, Dominic Calvert-Lewin in a club that had Ruud van Nistelrooy, Robin van Persie, Andy Cole, Dwight York, Wayne Rooney. What in the fall-off and absolutely brutal wish reboots are we thinking this one, Andy?
Is Del Boy selling any handbags back as well? I hope he's selling some handbags anyway. I'm not attracted to it. Not attracted. He's not very good with Everton. That's why he's left. He's a free. He's run down his contract. Where would he go? I could see him staying in the Premier League, but he's not a Man United player for me. Absolutely no. It's no. It's like saving all your vouchers. You've saved and you saved and you saved, and you just want to go to McDonald's and get that big arch burger because you saved your tokens and you get that one big reward at the end of the month. That's it. It's just like a charity case, Calvert-Lewin. Sorry.
He's coming. He is the perfect signing for Old Trafford. He's free.
You want a broccoli again?
He's free.
Jesus Christ.
And he's free. I don't want him to come. But do you know what? He's going to come. He holds up the ball. He's 6'2", and he's good in the air. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't want Calvert-Lewin, but this is a Manchester United signing. We're frass. We've got no money. They need a striker, and guess what's going to happen? They're going to end up keeping -9 as well, which is going to just send me completely over the edge. So they're going to have their free strikers. They're going to have Cheeto as backup. They're going to have -9 as backup for Starboy Calvert-Lewin. Premier League proven, ex-England international. As I said, 6'2" and good in the air. That's what they want, and the ball's going to stick to him. Everybody's saying, oh, he's not going to be fit. They're not going to care. Do you know why? Because he's going to come and he's going to take 100 grand a week for 3 years, and we're going to end up paying him the same, just like Luke Shaw. We're going to end up, but we are going to get Calvert-Lewin. I've accepted it. I was fuming over the weekend. I was spitting blood. But now it's like I've woken up this morning and what's the word? Epiphany? I've had an epiphany. I've just accepted it. This club is in the mess, is in the shit, right? We've got no money. They can't get the Mbeumo deal done. Oh, we've 5 weeks. 5 weeks for £2.5 million. Are they taking the piss? Are they taking the piss? So yeah, he's going to be perfect for them. He's going. We're getting Calvert-Lewin. I don't know what shirt number he's going to get. I pray it's not a low one, but we're going to get Calvert-Lewin. 115 grand a week we're going to pay him. And it's going to be like on goal bonus or performance related. Trust me.
This sounds very, very depressing. And I think, Andy, there's more chance of the four of us starting games than there's the Dominic Calvert-Lewin starting games, because he's had three hamstring injuries in his final season at Everton. We bought
Mason Mount.
He's going to get his last big deal. He's 28 now. And we're basically going to be a cash cow for him while he spends time with Luke Shaw in the physio room. But Yaba, Andy, Mr. B, I have a little, I suppose, pessimistic.
You've got any hope, please?
Transfer lineup to show you. Because the Twitterazzi are out there and they're baying for blood. And there's a lot of them. They're actually not convinced that we're going to get Mbeumo across the line. So this particular individual, Onana can't save a goal, still in goal. Yoro Maguire and Delo in the back three. Dorgu, Ndidi, Ugarte and Ahmed across the four. Cunha, Fernandez at the 10 and Calvert-Lewin leading the line. And the question I have for you, that squad compared to last year's squad, I would say that indeed he's a downgrade on Ericsson. The fact that we're using a right back in a pinch on a back three, because they're probably assuming that Martinez is going to have another major injury. In the event that we get any sort of injuries, we're Fubart.
Look, I saw Adam McCullough put a line up as well. And we just don't know. The window's still open. We don't know how it's going to pan out. But I'll just say this. And look, I'm with Mr. B regarding Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and whatever his name is. I think he's a good striker. I think he's a good Premiership striker.
You're not with me. I don't think he's a good striker.
No. You said he holds the ball well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
he's physically strong. It's not about being that one striker. You can't be expected to do everything. But what you can do is bring other players into play and make other players better around you. And he will occupy centre backs. He'll be a problem. Getting into them elbows, sitting his ass into the back of them. This is the sort of player he is. So he can contribute in his own way. So I'm not writing him off. All I'd say is the injury issue is a problem. And if they don't sort that out, then we're just getting a dud. You know, like we have a little pups and we've gone out there and we'll pick that one. You know, which is a dud, clearly the dud. And he's got that reputation of being that dud, you know. You want to buy a nice stallion, someone who's got form and all that kind of thing. And we're going out there and taking a risk on this guy. But is it a risk? Can he come good? Because same with Mason Mount. When Mason Mount's at his top level, he's a good player. It's just that we haven't seen it yet. When Dominic is at his top level, he's another good player who's struggled at Everton, who's never really been challenging for anything up the top, but struggled at Everton, but still got into England's side based on him being a problem. And he is a problem. So I'm all right with that. I think under the circumstances, we'll not be able. We reached out to these other top dogs, can't seem to get them. So we're going to take this little dog here, train him up, get him in good condition, groom him, and send him out there and see what's going on.
Yabba might have a point on that. Maybe we need a little bit of nastiness, a little ankle biter, which will, throwing an elbow here, throwing a push there, physical up front. If we don't get goals, he lays on goals. Maybe that's something to work on if we do get him. But that's the only thing we need. We need some physical, and I mean absolutely nasty, attack-minded player. Who can be skillful, but if you can't be skillful, you be nasty about it. You cause problems like that Duncan Ferguson of old, the battering ram. you can hold it up or get an header here and there, create something for somebody. So that's the only positive angle I could see from it.
You know, though, it'd be very difficult, though, for him to do that from sitting on the physio table down the tunnel, though, unless he tends to have a missile of an arm where he's throwing water bottles at the opposition players. I don't know how we can expect him to be effective.
Well, the people at Carrington will have a field day. At least they'll get their wages right, won't they? You know, if he's getting treatment in there, you know what I mean?
Very true. Actually, I want to point out something. We sold Anthony Elanga, £15 million to Nottingham Forest. They've now sold him for £55 million.
Good, we're making money.
55?
£55 million.
How much of that do we get?
20, I think.
20, what, we get 20 million or 20%?
20%.
What's 20% of 50? What, we getting 10 million from that, yeah?
In or around, yeah.
Right.
Wow. 55 million. Jesus.
We can't sell players. He's been at Forest for 2 years. They've made 40 million.
Yeah. Like,
Wow.
if that doesn't tell you
That is
how much
bonkers.
of it.
That is Tom and Jerry bonkers, that. Honest to God. Jesus.
But to be fair, look, who wanted Elanga to stay when we sold him? Nobody. You know, we assumed that the players that we had were going to be better than him, would be better than him. He's still a limited player. His style is perfect for Newcastle. They'll sit in, kick the ball to him and then run. He'll run. Nobody's going to catch him and he'll cross it.
Oh yeah, he's road runner. That's all he is.
He's perfect for their style of play. So you know, if they're going to spend 55, as I said, bring the money. You know, United did what they needed to do with him. They weren't stupid in that regard. That's the one thing that they seem to be putting in these clauses and these sell-on clauses and stuff. So take the money. So hopefully they'll spend the money on something other than another cigar room for them fuckers. But you know, we'll see.
You know, with Elanga, I think you have to look at this. I was watching Paris. They're the best team in world football at the moment, I believe. Anyway, they're just brilliant. But one thing they all have is pace. Even the fullbacks, the centre backs, the strikers, the only two midfielders, the three midfielders don't really have pace. But it's all that pace in the modern game, and I think Elanga just shows you what he's all about. I've seen clips of him training last season, and this season I've seen something. He's running under 11 seconds for 100 meters. He's just rapid. He's such an athlete. He's doing his proper Olympic athlete training, and this is what shows you what football's all about. He's effective because he's got rapid speed. And we spoke there. He's maybe a bit limited. He's not the most skillful, whatever, but he's been effective, and he's gone on with the hunger he's had, being rejected by Man United, being sold. He's gone to prove himself at Forest, and now he's got the move for him. Well done to him. But once again, like the question was asked on the panel, we really want him when he was at our club? We thought he's quite limited. So we have to move on. We have to accept that one.
If you go back to last season, when we played Forest and lost 1-0, we were on the attack. We had the corner. Who took the ball? Who ran like roadrunner? Me. And fucking who pulled his tongue at us? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he set up the goal. Honestly, I mean that is proof in the pudding in itself.
But I think, though, if you look at Elanga and Alvaro Fernandez as the two examples, it just shows how inept we have been in terms of getting proper value transfer fees for our players. Alvaro Fernandez has gone to Real Madrid or going to Real Madrid for a similar fee. So that's £100 and odd million from two players that we cast off. And I think we pulled in a total of 5 million for Alvaro and whatever we pulled in for Elanga. So we pulled in maybe a fifth of that. It probably does show that we need lessons to be learned. But I am going to go to the comments. Hydro, what time have we got here? 9:45. We're not quite watershed, are we? He said, I'd rather have Calvin Klein than that bleeding D-head. This time next year, Roddy, we'll be relegated.
That's a good one.
Red Devil United Diesel is Premier League unproven, if anything. He's been shite for years, Gaffer. Solo's tutting you for some reason or another, Mr. B. Moss is saying, DCL to Old Trafford. Whoa, maybe he won't get injured anymore. Lol. Yeah. Have you seen our record with keeping players fit? Low cash reserves, and they don't want to use the credit facility. Titanium. Mr. B is the new Yabba. No, we'd swap.
You know, I'm sure. I think you have got the. It's not that I want Calvert Lewin, but he's he's going to come, and he's got the characteristics that the centre forward at United need. The fact that he's on a free, and the deal that they can get done is, what's he on at Everton? 100 grand. He'll probably take 100 grand and 1 pence to come to Old Trafford just for prestige. So they're not going to be paying him this. You know, he's signing on fee might be 1 million. Fine. You know, they're going to find that 1 million from somewhere anyway. It's not that I want him to come.
He would have
to come.
Mr. B, he would have to be a freebie on the scale of Zlatan. Zlatan to actually convince me he's worth anything at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I would rather it was Zlatan. The level we're at, we can't attract Zlatan.
In the last 10 years, that's the best free transfer we've ever done. Even if it was
one of the best free transfers ever. It's one of the best free transfers ever, to be fair.
The only way I'm accepting DCL is 20 grand a week, 1 year. That's the only way I'm accepting him.
Guess what?
Most professional footballers would say that, mate. They would.
Yeah, to prove himself. Yeah, why not? Take Kalobar.
You know, as soon as you get injured, you don't get paid. Bench.
Yeah.
I stay in the treatment room reading Who's Who of football. You know what I mean? Putting in your stickers in your Panini album while you're on the medical desk, getting treated. Wow, 20 grand a week. Damn right.
Absolutely. Link's saying, what a waste of money. All the money that we flushed down the jacks on Mount, Rasmus, and Onana Butterfingers. I don't know how any United fan can be positive about next season. We deserve better. DCL scored 17 goals over the last 4 years. Highland scored 14 over 2. Both are poo-poo. We deserve better. Where's Maz, Delish, and Mano in that lineup? Not ours. I just like to point out.
It definitely wasn't mine.
But I suppose it depends on what the gaffer thinks. I think it actually be more likely Maz would tuck in the back three than the others, to be fair. Dan, our standards has fallen to the floor, says Rio. Solo, holy shit, he's actually saying he was not good enough to play for Everton. Why are we accepting him? Hallelujah, Solo sin the light.
Wow, Solo coming out with some right royal comments there.
Hydro. Remember the players we used to sign? Our bar has dropped. And Lynx is in his 50 years for his sins. He's never seen such a bad window. Gentlemen, just to kind of finish up, let's assume the worst. Let's assume we fumble in Boimo. Let's assume that we sign DCL, the walking hamstring, and Ndidi. That's all we do.
G-string, not hamstring. G-string. Strings a lot, you know what I mean?
And all the handbags come home to roost in Carrington. Where are we finishing next season?
Oh. I don't know, mate. 10th, 11th.
I don't put aside that where we finish this season.
I can't answer that. I know it's not in the top 8. It's not in the top 6. With the current, with the squad we've got and the one transfer we've done, we won't be doing top 6 or top 10.
What about top 20?
Yeah, it was a classic CD that back in the day, wasn't it? Yeah. That's what I call 20. I don't know. Anywhere below 10th. Take your pick from that.
Can we make an assessment nearer the time? Because right now, when we're just in the transfer window is just over.
We're raw, aren't we? That's what you're going to say.
We haven't made our transfers yet. We haven't completed our transfers. Make an assessment closer to the season, but at the moment,
United could drop it on you like a nuke. Bang, bang, bang. There's 3 signings in a week, and we're all done. That can be the positivity. Maybe United are keeping something close to the chest, like they kept this Amazon thing so close to the chest, and somebody from the Athletic dropped it. Maybe they are keeping something to the chest. Then out of a sudden, you see 2 signings, maybe 3 signings in about 7 to 10 days. Then all our business is done. Maybe we do something before the tour, during the tour, and maybe like you say, I don't think anybody from United will want the what you call the miserable faces of Marcus Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony, Jadon Sancho, and Malacia on that pre-season tour. So I would say before they get on the plane, you're going to get a signing. What it is, I don't know.
Actually, interestingly, a bit of news from the tapping merchant Fabrizio Romano. United target, or alleged target, Richard Rios, is now subject of an inquiry of both Inter Milan and AS Roma, with the fee believed to be €30 million for the midfielder.
Oh, that's where he's going. He ain't coming to us. We don't have the money. We're getting linked with these players. As I said, freebies at the moment. We're getting linked to these players, and Sancho's still there.
They're using our name. That's all it is. We're getting... Well, if a player wants to transfer, just say, throw Man United in this. It'll get me that transfer to Manchester City or Liverpool, or it'll get me to somewhere in Italy. It's just our name is the only thing that is any credit anymore.
Very true, Andy. Summer 2009, we got 80 million for Ronaldo and bought Valencia 14 million, Owen free, Overton 3 million, and Diouf undisclosed. That's my worst window. And in fairness, though, Valencia was decent, but the problem was that a certain bunch of cone-headed Yanks kept 70 million in their trousers.
Nothing new, is it?
No, nothing new. It'll always be the same.
Andy, I'm going to give you the last word. Let the people know where they can find you and all the rest of it.
Well, guys, I may be a miserable sod on a Monday night, but you can be positive and subscribe to the Manchester United agenda. We're on the road to 4,000 by the end. At the start of the season, we want to do this by the end of the month. By the even start of the pre-season tour, we might have some players. We might have something positive to talk about. So subscribe to the Man United agenda. You'll find me here once a week at my discretion. And you'll also find me at Stretford Paddock, 800k, on the road to 900k. Positivity is only in limited amounts at the moment. But if you want me, I'll be there.
Cheers, Andy. Obviously, we know where to find Yab and Mr. B and myself. We will be here spouting the good news. But stay tuned tomorrow for another special guest. He may be known to Andy, but you'll have to kind of keep an eye for that live video. And as they say, no income tax, no VAT, no money back, no guarantees.
Yeah, he's
poor
more
and poor.
He likes them, but he's
poor and poor.
He loves the Sopranos. This one, I know he does, because you can tell him that because I wonder if he knows there is a Sopranos tour next year in Manchester, and he'll be there in the front row clapping. I found that out last week, and I've been watching the Sopranos, the top 10 deaths. So that's my morbid Monday night. So
here tonight, you sleep with the fishes. But this has been the Man United agenda. Yabba, you can tell Titanium in the comments afterwards whether Maguire's better than Varane and the reasons why. But for now, good night.
Good night.